اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وفقها في الدين يا رب العالمين وألحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر إلى آخر الآية. Last week we stopped after 145. We finished 145. This week we are told to speed up. Okay, so we're just going to go through the names, inshallah, of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, rather than too much explanation. In the upcoming series, inshallah, we want to go through Imam Abu Hanifa's biography. Imam Abu Hanifa's stories, biographies. Our media team is saying we are followers of Abu Hanifa, but we know very little about Abu Hanifa. So let us educate ourselves about Imam Abu Hanifa. So inshallah, the upcoming series will be about Imam Abu Hanifa and his two great students, many great students that he had, but the main two students that generally transmitted the whole Hanafi madhab as we know it today. Okay, that will be from the coming sessions, inshallah. Today, let's go through what was. There's a lot of names remaining, so I'm not going to talk too much, inshallah. Let's just go through anyone has any questions, they can raise their hand. I don't want it to become just a list of names that I'm reading out. All of these names, as I said, it's mentioned in Hadith, and those who want to download the PDF, the numbers of the pages and the numbers and everything is on the media team, inshallah, on my channel as well as Baytul Aman Masjid. So let's carry on, inshallah. 146, As-Sajid, the one who prostrates to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala often. Okay, this was one of the qualities of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who used to prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very often. Sabilullah, the one who shows to the path of Allah. There is no one else that can show to what Allah loves, what Allah doesn't like, what Allah dislikes, what Allah likes, is only shown by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Sabilullah is another name. As-Siraj, the lamp of guidance that finishes off deviation. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like the light of the ummah. Is like the light of the ummah that eradicates all type of deviation. If you want to know you're on the haqq, then you must follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not enough to follow Quran. It is impossible. It is impossible because the person through which the Quran came, he is the living example of the Quran. The manual, if you want to understand the manual, then you have to understand the practical being that came with the manual. Okay. As-Sa'id, fortunate. Fortunate generally refers to akhirah. Okay, generally refers to akhirah. Sa'id. As-Sami', the one who hears. There's many miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hearing from far away, miles and miles and miles away. He was warning the Sahaba not to fall into a trap of the enemy. Okay, there's many. I'm not going to talk about it now. As-Salam, the one who makes peace, one who gives peace, causes peace, makes peace. Okay, is the prophet of peace. Next we have Sayyidu Wuldi Adam, the master of the children of Adam, the greatest of all of the children of Adam alayhi salam. Sayyidul Mursaleen, the master of all the Anbiya that was sent, all the 124,000 Nabi and Mursaleen, the Rasuls that were sent. He is the master of all of them. Just like he led Salah in Baytul Maqdis in this world, likewise in Akhirah, he will be the greatest. How he will be the greatest? Just like the Hafizul Quran, he is going to have a crown, isn't it? To show off to the whole world who Hafiz Chabis. Yeah, we know him as the one who lead the Trawi only. Over there, you'll know who Hafiz Chabis. Very clearly, you'll know. He'll be shiny. He'll be not like the star. Be shining like the sun 10 times over. 10 times the sun. Imagine the parents of Hawissa. He's going to pull them to their status. Allahu Akbar. He's not going to allow them to have a lesser status than him in Jannah. He's going to pull them right to the status of Allahu Akbar. The same thing here. Sayyidun Nas, the guide of all people. The guide of all people. If you want true guidance, guidance is only from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Next one, Sayfullah al-Maslul, the drawn sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Unsheathed. The sword taken out from the sheath of the container or whatever you want to call it. Why? Because at times he was not a person who was at all fronts. He was the leader in all fronts. So there's the military side where you have to take example from Rasulullah. What you do, what you don't do. How you fight and how you don't fight. What are the... Otherwise, we wouldn't know the rights and wrongs of fighting. You know, people, they do what these Israelis are doing right now. Killing babies and children and elderly and disabled and women. This is cowardly. This is cowardly. This is not being a man. You want to fight? Fight. Try. See how the tanks get blown up. Allah's junud is different. Allah's army is totally different. It can never be underestimated. Even what did Abu Ubaidah say? That even the earth will swallow you up. What's earth doing? It's coming out with types of germs, types of parasites that are eating these soldiers up alive. They're crying. Soldiers are crying. You want to fight with Allah? Fight. Fight. Go fight. Go fight. Allah will show you. Shari'. The only thing we can do is make dua for them. Make dua, make abundance of dua and cry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the time of the tahajjud. This, if it were to happen to us in our families, think about what you would do, what I would do. Helpless situation, despair, complete despair. Complete. The only tawakkul they have is in Allah. Is in Allah. Ash-Shari', the one who shows the path of the Sharia. How do we know the Sharia? We know the Sharia through only Rasulullah. Is there a book called Sharia? There's no book called Sharia. As much as the media try to make it out like there's a book called Sharia, there's no book called Sharia. It doesn't exist. It never existed. It never will exist. Because Sharia, the Sharia that we understand, of fiqh and the madhabs, inshallah, we'll go through that later in detail. That's to do with fiqh. That's ijtihad. That's scholarly deduced opinions of what the Quran and Hadith want us to do. You understand? Of Quran and Hadith, what they want us to do, a scholarly opinion. That doesn't mean it's definitive. Sharia is something definitive, that this is Allah's law. You understand? Sometimes you don't know whether this Allah meant it directly or there's other meanings to it. Most of the time, there's other meanings to it. You know? When you take a verse out of context, it cannot be Sharia. You know? Find them wherever, kill them wherever you find them. You take that verse and you start jumping up and down. Oh, look at the Quran, it's barbaric. You took hundreds of other verses out of the equation. You took out thousands of hadith out of the equation, and you wanna take this one ayah out of it, completely out of context. You didn't even read the ayah before it, not the ayah after it. You don't understand any context. You don't want to know the background of asbabun nuzul of those ayat, and you wanna become ISIS. This is the damage that it causes to deen. The damage that it causes to deen is more dangerous. Ashamikhu, the one of the highest respect. Ashakiru, the one who is the most thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ashahidu, the one who will testify on behalf of us on the day of Qiyamah. When it will be said, how will you know your ummah? You'll be told because of the atharul wudu. Every single day you're doing 5 times wudu, isn't it? Those wudu, the parts of wudu will be shining, will be glowing, will be illuminating. So Rasulullah will immediately know, this is my ummah. These are the ones that used to make wudu. The more wudu you make, the more glow that you'll have. The less wudu you make, the sunnah of Rasulullah is to make renew wudu every single waqt. Sometimes there were occasions where he didn't, where he read all 5 salahs with, or all 5 salahs with one wudu, just to show permissibility that you don't need to, if you have wudu, you don't need to renew wudu. Shafi'u, the one who will intercede on behalf of us. The one who will intercede on behalf of us. He's the lawyer on the day of judgment for us. He will intercede on our behalf to take us from those who are on the list of Jahannam, take us to Jannah. Shakiru. And in another narration, it comes as Shakur. Shakur. The one who is very grateful. Just like Shakir, Shakur as well. Shams, the son of guidance. The son of guidance. Shaheed, the one who is trustworthy in testimony. As-Sabir, the patient one. The patient one. So many things were done to Rasulullah. He didn't retaliate. He didn't fight back. Many times he didn't fight back. Most of the time he didn't fight back. Why? He showed mercy. This is why he was Rahmatan lil Alameen. As-Sahib, the companion. The companion. Sahibu Rasulillah was known as Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, didn't it? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, the companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Ashabu Rasulillah or Sahabatu Rasulillah is Sahaba. Why? The companionship. The ulama said anyone who sees Rasulullah becomes a companion. But then the Sahaba that didn't see Rasulullah, did they? They were blind. They were blind. So is he Sahabi? He's Sahabi. He's 100% Sahabi. Abdullah bin Maktoum, 100% Sahabi. Yeah? So it's not just seeing, it's companionship. It's companion. 124,000. We didn't have projectors. 124,000 Sahaba on the plain of Arafah. Did all of them see Rasulullah? Like the way you saying me? No. But they're all Sahaba. They're considered Sahaba. So, Sahaba means companionship. Companionship. Sahibul Ayat and Sahibul Mu'jizat. The one who has many, many signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Miracles. Ayat and Mu'jizat, miracles and signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sahibul Burhan. The one who has proofs. Prove the truth. The one who has proofs to prove the truth. Sahibut Taj, the one I said, the one who will be wearing the Taj on the day of judgment, the crown. The crown that will outshine every single human on the face of the earth, including all the Anbiya, including all the prophets. Allahu Akbar. Sahibul Jihad, the one who is the leader of Jihad. Jihad is a pillar of Islam. No one can deny Jihad. Jihad is necessary in order to eradicate misguidance on earth, in order to eradicate misguidance. When there is too much volume, when there is too much oppression, jihad becomes necessary. When there's too much oppression, jihad is a necessity. If that oppression keeps going on and on and on and on, what will happen to the rest of the whole world? You understand? This is why jihad was legislated, because of persecution. More than 13 years, 14 years of persecution in Makkah. And then a couple of years in Medina. Sahibul Hujjah, the one who has the proof of truth. This is regarding Quran. Quran was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in order to rebuttal the ideas, the wrong ideas that people had in Arabia and as well as out of Arabia, but generally in Arabia. Sahibul Hatim, the one who. Why is he known as Sahibul Hatim? Hatim, you know the Hatim? Semicircle, where we go and pray, 2 rakats in front of the Kaaba. The Kaaba is like this, and then you have the semicircle, isn't it? Inside there, you pray 2 rakats. Semicircle, the wall, the curved wall. There, inside there, we normally pray 2 rakats. Why? That is part of the Kaaba. But because the money wasn't halal, even the mushrikeen, imagine mushrikeen, polytheists, they used to worship idols, they used to worship dolls, if you want to say it, statues. mud items that were carved with their own hands. This is what they used to worship. Even in that stage, they understood that haram money must not be used for Allah's cause. Nowadays, fortunately, many brothers, many sisters as well, unfortunately, due to misguidance and due to ignorance, they want to spend for Allah's cause from haram money as well. How do you, if you have haram money, whatever happened, okay? If it happened to be in your hands, how do you dispose of it? You give it to the poor. To them, it's not, it's like zakat. Zakat, we call it the zakat money that you're supposed to give. If you don't give it, it becomes kanz. Kanz. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it kanz in the Quran, 11 juz. Why does it become kanz? Kanz is like najis. Treasure, this treasure which is najis, which is impure, filthy. Filthy for who? Filthy for me. For the person who has that bad wealth, haram wealth, the wealth that you cheated another person, the wealth that you took riba or rishwa or whatever, goosh, as we say. All the haram types of money, all this money must be given to the poor, not to the buildings, not to toilets, not to etim khana, to build something. No, not to build roads. This money is not for that. Sadaqah money is for that. You want to give sadaqah for that. Zakat cannot be given to items like masjids or companies or zakat has to, every single penny of it cannot be deduced. Because some charities, they deduct 10-20% for their employees and for the running of their services. No, this is totally haram. For them to deduct from zakat money is absolutely haram. Because every penny is an amana. The person who's giving it, he believes and trusts that organization to go and give every single penny to the hand of the poor. You can buy items, that's fine. You can buy items, but generally you must give the money to the poor. Okay, same thing with haram money. You must go and give it to the poor, not to start building etim khanas and start building madrasas and mosques. No, that's not the cause. If you want to build masjid and etim khana and everything, you give your own money. You give your sadaqah money. Is that understood? You can't. You must give it to the hand of the poor. Next one. Where did we go now? Sahibul Hatim. Rasulullah was born in the Hatim. And it's part of the Kaaba. It's part of the Kaaba. So they didn't complete the whole Kaaba. We went away with the story to fiqh. Anyway, so this is considered to be as if you have prayed inside the Kaaba. Most of us will not get the opportunity to pray inside the Kaaba. So this is as if you are praying inside the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sahibul Hawdil Mawrood. The one who will come to the pond of Kawthar. The one who will come to the pond of Kawthar. And all of the Jannatis will be drinking from that pond. The classes will be given by Rasulullah himself. And everyone who drinks will never feel thirst ever again. Then you will ask me, so why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepare in Jannah the rivers, the beautiful rivers, the river of honey, the river of alcohol, the river of water, the river of milk? Why are all these 4 rivers and many other rivers, Tasneem and Salsabil and all these other ones exist? They exist because of your joy, because of your pleasure, because of bliss, because you just want to do it. You understand? Because of extra. So one thing is you do it out of need. Sometimes you eat out of need, and sometimes you eat out of pleasure. You go out and eat extravagantly. Go and spend £50, £100, whatever, with the whole family. So that's what that is for. The food in Jannah is not because of hunger. The drink of Jannah is not because of thirst. Because there is no thirst and there is no hunger in Jannah. There is no sleep. There's no weaknesses. There's no weaknesses. Weaknesses will all be taken away. Sahibul Khair. The possessor of goodness, all goodness. Sahibul Darajatil Aliyah Rafi'ah. The one who has reached the greatest heights. Sahibul Sujud Li Rabbil Mahmud. The one who prostrates in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the high, the extreme high Lord. 175. Sahibu sujud li Rabbil Mahmud. We done this, isn't it? The praised Lord. Sorry. Sahibu Saraya. One of the armies. The one who send out armies. Sahibu Sultan. The one who has kingdom and power. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Rasulullah kingdom and power, just like Sulaiman alayhi salam had kingdom and power as well. Sulaiman alayhi salam, he was, because of the dua of Sulaiman alayhi salam, many other prophets, they didn't get the virtue. His dua was, Ya Allah, give me such a kingdom that you will give no one else after me. Okay? So that's why within the lifetime of the Prophet, it's not possible for what Sulaiman alayhi salam could control and was under his control, for that to be under the control of Rasulullah, because otherwise it would go against the dua of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Okay? Sahibu Sayf, the one who has the sword. Sword. Rasulullah had many swords, and we're going to go through all the names, inshallah, in the future. In the book Sublime Conduct. You can get that book. Absolutely astonishing facts. You'd be amazed at the level of, detail of Rasulullah's seerah. It's to do with characteristics of the Prophet ﷺ, but he has all the names of the items, the names of the camels, the names of the horses, the names of everything. Alhamdulillah. Absolutely amazing. Amazing book. The Sublime Conduct. I'll put it on my YouTube later on, inshallah, when we start that book. Sahibu Shara', the one who explains the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Laws are there, but you can easily misinterpret those laws. That's why we have ulama to interpret those laws for us. Okay? That's why when you say, I am a Hanafi, you are saying, I am following the Quran and Sunnah according to the professional understanding of a mujtahid imam. You understand? I am understanding the books of medicine according to this GP. That understood? The easy way I can explain. You, me, we have not become the GP, we will not understand. You have to study 15 years in order to get to that place. We haven't studied 15 years, we only studied 8 years, unfortunately. So we must understand our place. Shafa'atul Kubra. Sahibu Shafa'atul Kubra. The one who will give the great intercession. This great intercession is regarding to the day of judgment, when Rasulullah will take all, until the last person that will come out of Jahannam. So no matter how many years they've been burning in Jahannam, even until that time, Rasulullah will continuously fall into sajda again and again and again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him, raise your head, ask for whatever you wish, and you will be granted. Until that time, he will be, whoever is destined for Jahannam, they will go into Jahannam, they will be purified, and they will be then later on thrown into the rivers of Jannah. Sahibul Ataya, the one who gives gifts, the one who loves giving gifts. Sahibul Alamat, and has been given gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, unlike any other prophet. Allahu Akbar. Sahibul Alamat, the one who has signs. Then Alamatul Bahirat, the one who has enlightened proofs. Sahibul Fadila, the one of great virtue. 185. Sahibul Qadib al-Asghar, the one with the short quiver. Quiver is the part where you put the dagger inside, isn't it? Sahibu Qawl La ilaha illallah, the one who says La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah, I said this in my 10 most powerful dhikirs, that lecture. I said the virtues of La ilaha illallah. You can go back, inshallah. Now, this is why we must say La ilaha illallah very often. At the time of death, what is in your mind and what is in your heart, that's what's going to come out. If you're not in the practice of saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, at the time of death, it's impossible. It's not going to come out. You're going to be listening to Bollywood, and you're going to be listening to whatever you listen to. That understood? Music, whoever listens to music, nothing will come out except those lyrics of those music. This is why it's dangerous. Our iman, save our iman, to protect our iman, to safeguard our iman, it is necessary, absolutely necessary, in order to stay away from all these distractions. These are distractions from shaitan. Entertainment is a distraction. Lahu and la'ib is a distraction from shaitan. It's a way to lure you in, to attract you, go away from the path of Allah. Think about it. You sit on your phone, you can spend hours and hours and hours non-stop watching funny videos and this video and that video, wasting time, absolutely wasting time. Whereas you're losing every single minute that you're wasting. You could have been earning houses in Jannah. You could have been earning your plants in Jannah, your trees in Jannah, your this in Jannah, your that in Jannah. Whatever you want, you get. Your Ferraris in Jannah, your Lamborghinis, whatever you want. Whatever you want, you do it with that fikr. You do it with that worry and concern. And you will get it. But you must do the action. You must recite La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah minimum 100 times. Minimum. فَأَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Know and understand and gain the ma'rifah, gain the recognition of who truly Allah is. How will you do that? You must repeat it. You must repeat it. Renew your iman. Renew your iman in what? Say La ilaha illallah. Jaddidu imanakum bi qawli La ilaha illallah. Say the words, to say the statement of La ilaha illallah. Rasulullah himself is telling us. Unfortunately, there are people out there posing as sheikhs. They have studied under God knows where, posing to say everything is bid'ah. Whole Sharia, everything is bid'ah. To say La ilaha illallah is also bid'ah. Mate, how did you become Muslim? If to say La ilaha illallah continuously 100 times, when Rasulullah himself is saying to say it, and you are saying it's bid'ah, how did you become Muslim? Many people, they don't think. That's the problem. Allah is telling you to think. Use your aqal. People are, the more you go away from your natural intuition that Allah has given, the more you'll be misguided. Why do you think in the 21st century, they can eat cow's piece? How? Would you be able to fathom that with your mind, logically? You won't be able to justify it. It's not possible to justify such things. Put the dung of the cow on your face and have a face mask, and then now have a shower inside the pool of the dung. Is it possible? Mentally, is it truly possible? This is what I mean. This is where, when humans come so down, asfala safilin, Allah made them the highest of the high, and they go to the lowest of the low. Allah has given you a mind in order to think correctly. How will you think correctly? Through the Sharia. Without the Sharia, a person will be misguided automatically. The mind can justify whatever it wants. They are justifying what? Homosexuality and everything that's inside there. Huh? Justify. They want to do it with science as well. It's not your... The point is, it's your loss. If you want to eradicate humanity, you can within a couple of generations. Yeah? If you want to eradicate your own race, you can easily. Allah's telling you, think. Without a mother and a father inside a family, that family will be destroyed. Be completely destroyed. Any family that doesn't have a mother and a father, the worst is the children. What they go through. Mentally, psychologically, emotionally, you do not understand what they go through if they don't have the father. The father is a necessity, absolute necessity. No matter what, you as the father must take responsibility. You became the father. You must man up. You must take that responsibility. No matter what. Whatever's happening inside the household, so what? You are the man. You have to understand more than the woman. Allah's given you that responsibility. You are the Khalifa on earth. If you mess up, the whole earth's going to mess up. Is that understood? You must be more. Allah's given you that leadership. Rijalu qawwamuna ala nisa. Qawwam means what? Maintainer. That's why you have, because the rationale of a man is much greater and he thinks less with emotions, he's been given that extra responsibility of being the Amir of the house. Woman doesn't have the right to divorce. Khul'a is something else. Khul'a is totally something else. We talk about divorce. Divorce has been given to men. Why? Because they don't judge with emotion. A man mustn't. Otherwise, he understands the consequences. Just like if he goes out of line with his manager, what's going to happen? 40, 50 grand job gone. Isn't it? Fired, sacked on the spot. Bye-bye. We don't need you. Go find another job. It's going to take another 6 months to go and get another job. Apply on Indeed and apply on Google, isn't it? Yeah. So a man has to, it's not a choice, he has to take responsibility. Sahibul Kawthar, we spoke about that. Sahibul Liwa, the one with the flag. Sahibul Mahshar, the one who will intercede for the Ummah on the plains of resurrection. Sahibul Medina, the resident of Medina Munawwara. Sahibul Mi'raj, the one who was taken up in Mi'raj. Sahibul Maghnam, the one who distributes booty. The one who distributes booty after jihad. Sahibul Maqamil Mahmud, the one who has the high position that no other prophets will be given. The highest position that no other prophets will be given. Sahibul Mimbar. Oh, there is another one by Sheikh Awama. Sahibul Fadila. Sahibul Fadila. I told you I'm going to give you the extras as well. The ones that are mentioned by Sheikh Muhammad Awama. Sahibul Fadila. Extremely high position and virtue that Rasulullah has been given over all other Anbiya. Sahibul Mimbar, because he used to give the Jumu'ah bayan from the Mimbar. And I told you about the wooden piece crying after he left. Comes in Bukhari and Muslim. Sahibul Munir, the one who enlightens with the light of guidance. So here, whenever in the Quran, Rasul, like many people misinterpret this. That's why I want to clarify this. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ نُورٌ وَكِتَابٌ مُبِينٌ. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُم, from Allah has come to you. Nur. Now this Nur, in one interpretation of many of the Mufassirin in Tafsir, it is given as Rasul himself. That Rasulullah himself is light. Now, is this a physical light? No. This is not a physical light. This is not a light that you see like this. Okay? Rasulullah is not a physical light. This is talking about him as the guidance. Light here means guidance, light of guidance. And dhulumat is known, dalala is known as darknesses. Deviation, those who go away from the straight path, those who do wrong things, this is considered dalala. Okay, this is why we say darknesses and light. Whenever we mean this in the terms of guidance and misguidance. Okay? That nur means guidance. Rasulullah is the one, and this will be this I checked it in so many tafsirs. Same. All the ulama say this light means guidance. Doesn't come in the literal meaning. Doesn't come in the literal meaning. There's many ulama, unfortunately, this has become a widespread misconception. There's many ulama, the Brelvi understanding, they understand it to be a literal light. Literal light. And they use many narrations to prove such things. But according to the Mufassirin, I've checked many, probably over 50 tafsirs. Okay? I can easily say I checked over 50 tafsirs. All of them, if you round all of them up, anyone that goes to explain that verse explains in the meaning of that light is in the meaning of guidance, hidayah. Person, deen is very delicate. Even when it comes to the hands of the scholars, they must rely on the previous. This is why when you make up something, any scholar, I'm talking about any scholar, when you make up something, automatically you're going to get caught. How are you going to get caught? We can go back to our classical tafsirs. This is why I don't recommend someone to read modern tafsirs. You read modern tafsirs, you're going to be automatically influenced by the person who's influenced by his worldly problems. If he's a Ikhwani, he's going to want to, if he's Hizbut Tahrir, he's going to want to do his own. Each Jama'ah has their own, types of ideologies and wants. Whereas the ulama of the past, they didn't have such things. They only gave you what is from Quran and Sunnah and from the first 3 generations and thereafter of the correctly guided scholars. Sahibul Munir. Okay, we spoke about that. Sahibul Na'lain, the one who wears sandals. Sandals of Rasulullah. Oh, what is depicted to us in Turkey. When you go Turkey, you can see in Topkapi Museum, isn't it? The sandals, at least the descriptions match, even if it is not the actual sandals of Rasulullah. Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best. Sahibul Hirawa. Rasulullah used to have staff, stick. He used to use the stick when giving khutbah. Okay? And he used to walk with the stick as well. Rasulullah used to walk with the stick. There's no limit to 40 years. You know, I've heard one alim, he's a mufti as well. He told me that it's after the age of 40. There's no limitation. If you look up the narrations, there's no mention of 40 years. There's no mention of 40 years. So stick, anyone can use the stick. And it's a sunnah. It's a sunnah of Musa alayhi salam. It's a sunnah of many of the other prophets, as well as Rasulullah himself. Okay, many prophets use the staff. Sahibul Wasila, the one who has the place of Wasila, which is the stage in Jannah only reserved for Rasulullah. Only reserved for Rasulullah. Only one servant can have it. And Rasulullah says, I wish it is me. I wish it is me. And of course it is him. He knows it's him. This is humbleness. This is humility. Sadi'u bima umir. The one who carries out that which is commanded. Rasulullah, in the verse that I read, وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا هَوَى مَا ضَلَّ صَاحِبُكُمْ وَمَا غَوَى وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى. Rasulullah does not speak according to what he feels like. That's why he took out the tongue like this with his own hand. And he said, write down whatever. I think it was Amr ibn al-As. Write down whatever comes out of this tongue. Because whatever comes out is wahi. Revelation. He does not speak out of his own accord. As-Sadiq, the truthful one. Sabur, the patient, the most patient one. Sidq, this is also mentioned in Hadith, the one who is truthful. Next one, Sirat al-Ladhina an'amta alayhim, the one who treads the path of those that are favored. Those that are favored are the Anbiya, Siddiqeen, referring to scholars generally, real scholars, not like us. Ulama al-Rabbaniyin, the ulama that actually practice upon whatever is given from Rasulullah. Those who are on the Sunnah 24/7. 24/7. Sirat al-Mustaqim, the one who treads the straight path. Next one is Safuh, the one who forgives. The one who forgives. Fa'afu wasfahu. Forgive and overlook. Allah doesn't just say forgive. Here he says forgive and overlook. Pardon. Allahu Akbar. So this was the quality of Rasulullah as well. Safuh, that he used to overlook and forgive and pardon. Safwa, the one who has sincere and good qualities. The best of qualities, Safwa. Safi, a sincere friend. A sincere friend. Ad-Dahhak, the one who meets with an open, smiling face. The one who always has a smiling face. Next one is Ad-Dahuk, the one who always smiles. The one who always smiles. Of course, Rasulullah did not laugh. No laugh out loud. What we normally do. This was not the sunnah of Rasulullah. Rasulullah used to smile. Whenever anything happened, he would always smile. And he used to come with a smile into the house. Imagine you come with a grumpy face inside the house. What's going to happen? Automatically, you're asking for disaster. You're asking for disaster, isn't it? So, always go in with a smiling face. You'll see automatically everything changes. With a salam and a smiling face, everything automatically changes. Even if the vibe is not good inside the house, automatically that vibe will change. So, Rasulullah was ad-Dahhak and ad-Dahuk. Always smiling and used to meet people always smiling as well. Both the meanings. Taba, the one who has good and pleasurable qualities. Tahir, the pure. Always he used to be in a state of purity. Purity was always That's why I told you once, if I remember correctly, our Ustad in Tirmidhi, he said, a person who makes the wudu 5 times a day, is he more superior or the one who always in the state of wudu? We were confused because we know the sunnah is 5 times for every single salah. You know, that's the sunnah. But then we said that automatically, that came to our heads. We said that we were wrong. Why? Because the person who's always in the state of wudu, he's more conscious of the purity state that he's going to die in. Is that understood? He dies at that moment, he's ready for death. He's in wudu. He's in wudu. He's going to go to Jannah anyway. Allahu Akbar. So, Tahir, the pure. And one of the sons of Rasulullah was named Tahir as well, isn't he? At-Tabib, the spiritual doctor. The spiritual doctor. As well as the bodily doctor as well. Rasulullah was both. That's why you have whole book. Tibbun Nabawi by Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawzi as well as Imam al-Suyuti. 2 books. Famous books. Tasin Mim, the front of the surah. Tasin Mim. Of course, here we're not going to give any meanings because this is some of the Mufassirin, they said this refers to one of the names of Rasulullah. It can, possibly, it can. Tasin Mim, another one, Tasin and Taha also. Taha also. One of the names. These are all supposed names of Rasulullah that the Mufassirin have claimed. Al-Zahir, the one who has completion on the outside. Just like his inside is complete, likewise his outside is beautiful. Just like his inside is beautiful, likewise his outside is beautiful. Al-Abid, the worshipper, is known as the worshipper. In order for you to gain closeness to Allah, in order for you to become a wali of Allah, Ala inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. You don't want fear and sorrow and all these things to take over you on the day of judgment. You must become the wali of Allah. How do you become the wali of Allah? Do what Allah told you to. You don't need to become alim. Not everyone is bound to become an alim or to go to the status of an alim. Okay, not everyone can go and study full time for 8 years to become an alim. Not possible, isn't it? But we can all become abid. This is what Allah wants us. He wants all of us to become abid. Abid is true worshipper of Allah, sincere worshipper of Allah. Al-Adil, the just, the most just. There is no Anbiya that was sent like the justice of Rasulullah. You see, Musa alayhi salam, he was with a stubborn nation. So automatically the rules had to be given upper trigger, isn't it? It had to be a bit more strict. Whereas Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, he was given less. Why? The people became different. People became lax. Whereas our ummah is a ummah of moderation. Moderation. Al-Afi, the one who overlooks and forgives. Al-Aqib, the one who came after all the Anbiya. Aqib. Al-Alim, the one who knows realities. This alim doesn't refer to our alim that we understand alim like a sheikh. No. Here alim refers to he knows that which no one else knows. Why? Because he's been exposed to things of the unseen which no human has ever been able to see, including all the prophets as well. Okay? Even Jibril alayhi salam as well, including Jibril, Archangel Jibril. He's been given to see what no one, no human, no creature has ever seen. This is why he's known as Al-Alim. Al-Amil, the one who practices upon what he knows. Amil. Alim, imagine one mistake. Alim, Amil. Every alim must become an amil. It is not enough to just become an alim. Alim is someone who knows. But you must do the amal to become an amil. Abdullah, the chosen servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another narration, he comes as Al-Abdu. just the servant, the slave of Allah. We translate as servant, be nice. The true meaning of abd, ubudiyya, and abd is slave. We are true slaves of Allah. We are slaves. We must admit, we must understand with true humility that we are the slaves of Allah on earth. Okay? Al-Adl, the one who keeps justice in himself as well. Al-Arabi, the one who speaks Arabic. That's why to know Arabic is part of deen. Person must try his best to learn. Imam Shafi'i, according to him, is fard. It's not a choice. You're a Muslim, you must learn Arabic. It's not a choice. Imam Abu Hanifa, he was more understanding. That's why he said it's not fard. Okay, because it is not possible for every single foreigner that's coming, because he was from Persian descent. He understood that there's people of other ethnicities, whereas Imam Shafi'i was an Asli Arab. He was a Sayyid. He was from the lineage of Rasulullah. Imam Shafi'i was from the lineage of Rasulullah. Until today in Yemen, if you go to Yemen, Hadramaut, you see the family of Rasulullah. The lineage, all the family of Rasulullah is still there. His whole lineage is there. Al-Arabi. Next one. Urwatul Wuthqa, a very strong handhold. Al-Aziz, the highly honored and mighty. Al-Azim, the one who has greatness in all fields. Al-Afu, the one who forgives. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's quality of forgiving, Rasulullah also had a similar quality in the sense that he would forgive and overlook people. Al-Afifu, the one who has the quality of purity, chastity. Al-Afif comes in many other narrations in nikah, in marriage, chapter of marriage. Al-Afif, person who stays with pure chastity and he doesn't go into haram. Even though he doesn't have avenues, he can't get married, but he still maintains not to fall into haram. This is a true chaste person. And his status is very high, extremely high, very, very high. Okay, many narrations. Al-Alim, the one who has the knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. Al-Alim. Al-Alami, the one who has the signs of truth on him. The one who has the signs of truth on him. Al-Alama or Allama. Allama would mean the most knowledgeable. The most knowledgeable. Whereas Alama would mean he's a sign. He's a sign of Qiyamah. Because Rasulullah, the moment he passed away, it's already one of the signs of Qiyamah has gone. Minor signs of Qiyamah has gone. Al-Ghalibu, the one who overpowers the enemy. The one who has been given the opportunity to overpower his enemy. If you look at all the battles of Rasulullah, the Sahaba, majority of the battles, they still won. They still won. There has to be some given, Otherwise, if they're always winning, it's going to become a problem. It's not a test anymore, isn't it? It's not a test anymore for the Sahaba. They're going to know this is the religion of the truth and you have to follow this, otherwise you're going to be destroyed. You understand? So, in order for it to be a test, you have to go through some sacrifice. This is why some people think, like, why did the Muslims get defeated in Uhud? Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the verses of glad tidings and good news after Uhud. And you're thinking, what's going on here? As a Muslim, you're thinking, like, what's going on here? They just lost. They got sandwiched inside a battle. They literally got sandwiched. Rasulullah got hurt. His teeth was broken. The Sahabas were like, they became like hedgehogs with arrows and with swords and everything and daggers flying on them. So there has to be some test. This deen came with test. It's going to remain with test. Those who have Iman will always be tested. Look at the way they're getting tested. We will fail. We'll fail. We don't have that level of Iman. That's why whoever is within any way that is considered sham is going to be tested until the day of judgment. Because they are automatically, according to the Hadith, they are automatically known, anyone who resides there. The hadith says anyone who stays there, resides there as a resident, is automatically a mujahid. Automatically he dies as a shaheed. Even when there's no jihad going on, if he dies there, he's automatically shaheed. Why? Because it's the land of the Anbiya. More than 70,000 Anbiya died there in that land, in the land of Sham. Allahu Akbar. Al-Ghaniyu Billah. Inshallah, give us 10 more minutes, inshallah, we'll finish off. Al-Ghaniyu Billah, the one who has attained independence from people and only relies only in Allah. From the beginning, I told you this. Allah has taken from the root, Allah cut off all dependence on human beings from the root. He came out without a father. His mother died when he was 6 years old. Automatically, your two main pillars of your life gone. Is yatim. Dependence is only on Allah. This automatically made him into the person who he, into the prophet that he was yet to become. Why? Because all pillars were taken away of dependence. That love and that mercy and that all was all in one side, and the love of Allah was concentrated only. Okay? This is why he could establish the deen the way he established the deen. Al-Ghayth, like beneficial rain. Rasulullah is known as like beneficial rain. Wherever he goes, he benefits everyone. He benefits anyone and everyone. So even the Jews and the Christians that came next to Rasulullah, even they got some benefit as well. Even if they didn't believe, they got some worldly benefit. Allahu Akbar. Al-Fatih, subhanallah. If you go to Morocco, in the Tariqatul Tijaniyya, it's not common amongst us. It's more common amongst the Africans. They go there. Sayyid Ahmad Tijani, he was a great Sufi scholar from Egypt. He went and made a lot of da'wah in African countries. That's why they respect him a lot. And hundreds of thousands of people became true Muslims, pious Muslims. And there was dhikrs. There's a book on dhikr, of all the dhikrs that he made. Some of them are from Sunnah. Some of them are just because he was an Arab. He made up salawat upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This reminds me in Fez, in Morocco, Fez. If you go to the right next to the main mosque there of Qarawiyyin, the Tijani Masjid is there. You can go and listen to the durood, the way they recite the durood. Al-Fatihu lima ughliq. The one who opens, meaning Rasulullah, the one who opens that which is closed. Meaning Rasulullah knows, and he will open for you doors that you will never be able to open with your means and your connections, your links. You understand? So when you are in a state where you are completely just, there's no way out. There's no way out of that situation. Start reading Durood. Start reading Durood, automatically your doors will open. Watch. Al-Fatih, the victor as well, the conqueror, the victor. Al-Fariq Lit, I think we've done this before. Criterion between Haqq and Batil. Fariq Lit, it comes in Syriac. The criterion, Fariq bain al-Haqqi wal-Batil. The one who is the criterion between the truth and falsehood. He clearly shows you, just like the Quran is a criterion, Furqan. We know it as Furqan, one of the names of the Quran, one of the names of the surahs as well, isn't it? Al-Furqan, Surah Al-Furqan. So Furqan means be able to differentiate between what is haqq and what is batil. What is haqq and what is batil. Al-Fariq, the one who distinguishes between truth and falsehood as well. Al-Fattah, the one who gets the treasures of mercy opened up. Al-Fattah, the one who gets the doors of treasures opened up. Al-Fakhru, the bold one. He was always bold. Al-Faratu, Al-Faratu, the one who will come on the pond of Kawthar, on the pond of Kawthar, before everyone, before anyone and everyone. He'll be the first one to be there. أَنَا فَرَطُكُمْ عَلَى الْحَوْضِ. Comes in many narrations in Bukhari. Al-Fasihu, the most eloquent. Why? Because he had to be. In the land of all those who are the most eloquent in poetry, he had to come with something which annihilates all their eloquencies that exist in that Arabia. So he came with Quran, something which is much, much, much more eloquent than all the poetry put together. Learning poetry it aids you. It aids you. That's why in madrasa, we have to study poetry. You don't understand poetry, you won't appreciate Quran. You'll never appreciate Quran. Okay? You'll never be able to appreciate Quran because you won't understand the balagha, the ma'ani, the balagha. You won't be able to understand it. That's why language is a must. Arabic language is like one of the major components in order to understand Quran. Arabic language meaning grammar. Talking about grammar here. Vocabulary is necessary, but grammar, which is nahu, sarf, or ilm al-ishtiqaq as the Arabs call it, or ilm al-tasrif, whatever. Sarf, we call it sarf. And balagha. Balagha is the main one. Balagha, if you open up Safwat al-Tafasir by Sheikh Muhammad Ali al-Sabuni, very small book, 3 volumes, very simple Arabic. Very, very, very simple Arabic. Anyone who does first year Arabic will be able to open that book and start reading. But he comes up with, after a couple of verses, he comes up with all the grammatic analysis, balagha analysis. Absolutely amazing. Phenomenal book. For a beginners, absolutely phenomenal. And for an alim as well. Not just a beginner's book. He gathered from multiple tafasir. He gathered from probably 30, 40, 50 tafsirs together, and he got out the juice for you in one book. Over 10 million copies have been printed and distributed amongst the whole world free. That's 10 million free. What about the copies that were printed in? Sheikh Muhammad Ali al-Sabuni. The Saudis don't like him. The Saudis don't like him. Why? He exposes them. He exposes the aqidah in tafsir. What the ulama say. Your aqidah is batil, brother. I'm sorry. You Saudi can claim all the haqq and everything that you can claim. And you can say kullu bid'atin dalala in every lecture. It is not going to make a difference. It's not going to make any difference. All the ulama, all the mufassirina on one side, all the muhaddithina on one side, all the scholars of fiqh on one side. What side are you going to come up on after 1400 years? It's a joke. It's a joke. You can't come up with your own things in deen. Al-Fasih, we done this. The most eloquent. Qawlul, the bounty of Allah on earth. The bounty of Allah on earth. Rasulullah. Fawatihun Nur, the one who begins light. Al-Qasim, the one who distributes. The one who distributes. Now here, distribution refers to knowledge. Distribution refers to knowledge. After Rasulullah died, Abu Hurairah went out to the marketplaces and said, come to the masjid, come to the masjid. The inheritance of Rasulullah is being distributed. All the Sahaba, they ran to the masjid. They saw money, wealth, whereas they saw majalis of ilm, like we're doing now. They saw different scholars or different scholars of the Sahaba giving lessons. So he meant go and take the inheritance of Rasulullah, because Rasulullah did not leave behind dirham and dananir and wealth. He didn't. He gave everything away before he passed away. You know, everything that he leaves is sadaqah. It comes in hadith. Is charity. That's why Fatima radiallahu anha couldn't get anything. You know, couldn't get anything. She has made that a big deal. That Abu Bakr and Umar prevented. Rasulullah himself said, whatever I leave behind is sadaqah. It's not their choice to give whatever they want. No, it's from Rasulullah's command. They must obey Rasulullah's command. Anyway, Fawatih Nur al-Qasim, the one who distributes. Yeah? So knowledge. So this refers to knowledge. That Rasulullah left behind knowledge. This is the only booty that we have from Rasulullah. Whoever gets it, gets a huge bounty. massive bounty. His status is like none other. Al-Qadi, the decider. He was the Qadi of all the Sahaba. Qanit. The person must not make a mistake here. Qanitun. Ta. You say qanitun, it's going to be despair. Meaning of helplessness. Helpless. Qanitun, obedient. Qanitun, ana al-layl. Okay? Qaidul khair, the guide of goodness. The guide of goodness is the leader of goodness. Qaidul ghurril mahajjalin, or muhajjalin, the one who is the leader of those that will come on the day of judgment glowing. Okay? I told you, the face, the arms, the hands, the feet, the head will be glowing out of the wudu signs. Qaidul ghurril muhajjalin. Qail, the one who speaks. Rasulullah is known to be a speaker. Qaim, the one who remains firm. The one who remains firm upon the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Qattal, also firmness and steadfast. Al-Qatul, the one who fights the enemy. The one who fights the enemy and stays firm. وَثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَنَا وَانْصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ. Wallah, keep our feet firm and established when we come to meet the enemy. Qatul, the one who fights the enemy. Rasulullah was always in the front. Many of the leaders, generally, they stay at the back. It was Rasulullah. Rasulullah was always an example in all fields, in every field that you can think of. So, those who are cowards, they'll sit at the back, isn't it? You go and fight. Army, you go and fight. No, Rasulullah was the first one there. He was the first one right in front of everyone. He was the real, true leader. And he came to fighting. Al-Qutham, the one who gives a lot. The one who used to give a lot. Al-Qathum as well. Generous, very generous. Qadama Sidqin, the one who takes the step of truth. And Qurashi. We'll stop there, inshallah. Qurashi, the one who was from the family of Quraysh. The one who was from the family of Quraysh. We'll carry on, inshallah, next week. It's already been 1 hour. Normally, we don't do more than 1 hour. Jazakumullahu khair. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. وعليكم السلام.